Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for April, April 5th through 9th, 2021. Well, here we are, I guess, trying to catch up with time when it feels like time isn't getting anywhere in this strange reality. There's a breaking point coming, though, the astrology is saying, as we move into this incredibly powerful Aries new moon next weekend. We have Mercury now in Aries, bringing us a stellium, Mercury, Chiron, the sun, Venus, and then the moon will join for the new moon in Aries this weekend. Sunday, Monday, depending on where you are in the world. So we still have the sun and Venus pretty close together, finishing out their 3 weeks of time together. An exalted time for a new identity for the feminine. And what is up with the new identity of the feminine? The purged and cleansed identity of the feminine. And that is, she's got her voice back. This is Mars in Gemini, the warrior for communication. And it's saying it's time to release the gag order on the ancient feminine mysteries, on the truth, on all that needs to be revealed in this world. Because Mars is coming into a square, we're starting to feel this here this week. It is exact just before this new moon in Aries, Mars in square to Neptune in Pisces. So Mars, the warrior of the voice, of communication, of escaping duality, and calling forward the enlightened leaders of our time. In square to Neptune in Pisces, after all of this, we've had about 5 months of really intense delusional reality. And now Mars the warrior in square to Neptune. And this is saying it's time to break the spell. Indeed, we are under a spell as we are being shown so clearly in this very scary movie. If you're awake, if you're paying attention, if you can bear to look at it, we're being shown the dark agendas of the control energies that want to take us into the AI agenda. And it's just right there in front of us for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear. And then incredible frustration with those who refuse to see. But this is part of the Mars square Neptune. It's like the reason why we're in such a weird reality is because of programming. We are like a computer, a humanity, and we've been running a bad program. And it's time for us to get up and stand up and rewrite the script, right? But we have to understand that those that are asleep to this program, it's like, okay, there's all these advanced souls on the planet right now, and Christ consciousness is landing and our ascension is happening, and there's just these waves of powerful energy. But you cannot set humanity free from the prison if they don't know they're in prison. They don't realize they've been farmed. They don't realize that they are being kept as slaves. And this is interesting, right? Because there's a huge call to end slavery on the planet, right? For real. Especially trafficking. And yet we're all conceding to continue to live as slaves, financial slaves, slaves of our of truth, lies and deception, and our life force continually stolen from us until we say no. Because we didn't get in this movie by saying some part of us has said yes to this. Some part of us said, yes, I'm scared of my own power, whatever programming, you can take it, use it for whatever you want. I can't handle it. You guys better keep it. Maybe it is because it's that powerful, this God consciousness. This is this Aries energy. This is like tapping into the power that we have within us. This is the most powerful force in all of the universe. This is our life force, our self-correcting mechanism, our immune system. No wonder we're in this medical tyranny where they want to do everything to just mind wipe us from the fact that we even have an immune system. This is our power. And as an advanced soul, aware of yourself as God consciousness in a physical body, you are the top of the totem pole. You are sovereign, except for not if you don't own it. And I know it's frustrating. I know we all feel it. It's like, what do I need to do? Because I've been showing up, you know, and it feels like an impossible situation. But this is how the lower matrix wants you to feel. It's impossible. You can never win. You're a failure, and it's hopeless. And when you feel those feelings, you can be like, oh, that's the program. Now, we've all been programmed since very young, right? Programming on top of programming on top of programming. And this is what we're dealing with right now. If you really tap in, you can feel that the technological control energies have lessened. This is part of the reason for the overt control energies of telling us what to do, what we can and can't do, which makes no logical sense, but we're lapping it up anyway. Like, please give me more control. Please take over my body with this sick, nasty, distorted AI agenda vaccination. Like, go ahead, you know? And this is where, but so we have to understand, though, that the only reason we got to this level of stupidity and inability to think for ourselves is because of programming and mind control. That's the energy of the Piscean age. The Piscean age is about this oneness consciousness, which is a beautiful spiritual experience, but it can also be used for groupthink. And can you see how we're heading into this ultimate tyranny, you know? And like so much of our population saying, well, it's okay, censorship, if I don't agree with it, you know, because the fact checkers told me it wasn't true. And if I question one thing right now, my whole ship of fools is going to start falling apart. And yes, our whole ship of fools is starting to fall apart, the whole house of cards. And this is this Mars square Neptune. There's so much truth and so many conscious souls on the planet, so much spiritual awareness, more than we've ever had, and yet so many overt lies. And that dam is about to break. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, though, for normies, because it's like you've always had this program telling you what to do, and what happens when the program isn't there. That's why we can't just take away all of these systems of mind control and technological control, because people would go crazy, you know? And it's like you've been playing this role, say you were an actor in a movie and so invested in that part. And then when that movie's over, you feel lost and depressed, you know? That's why we're here, advanced souls, supernova souls, because we represent a different fabric. Like, hey, you guys, try it this way. We know our reality is more true than any bullshit reality they're feeding us, because our spiritual reality, we remember. We went through so much. But we remember, and this spiritual reality is way more true. It came before all this other bullshit, and it's way more true. And we win, and God wins. And let's get the F on with it, right? What's holding it up? And I think this is what's holding it up, is that humanity doesn't realize they're slaves, and they're completely mind controlled. So you have to be careful when you're taking away the program, right? Because, and this is part of the Aries energy. It's like freedom, demanding and commanding freedom, our life force standing up for our own life force, that we humans have been traded like commodities because of your life force. And then everything done to make sure you don't know you have that inside of you, just like your immune system. You cannot give your power over to medical tyranny if you believe in your immune system. If you felt it work before, no wonder there's been a long-term agenda to disconnect us from this. And what are the side effects of this vax? Feeling a disconnection from God. Are you getting it now? This is our life force. And it's being shown to us absolutely clearly how we have given it over. But Aries wants freedom more than anything. And so it's this very powerful energy for this Aries new moon of claiming freedom, singing the songs of freedom, releasing the mask, the bondage, the silencing of the truth throughout time. All the astrologies pointing to it, because we've got the stellium in Aries, and this fight for life. We are in a life and death fight. This is why it's so intense right now. Everything wants to pull you into the matrix and make you a part of that AI machine. And you're fighting for your life. You're fighting for all of humanity right now, moment to moment. And thank you. Thank God you're here. And keep it up. They're going to try to tell you you're not getting anywhere. But we already crossed over. And all of that false movie and all the lies and all the programming requires energy to be maintained. All the mind control, the technological grid, and it's drying up for them. And the house of cards is falling. And yet we have to understand that humanity needs to be shown so that we never go here again. But it's excruciatingly painful for those who are awake. And understanding that when you lose your program and that's all you've had, you've completely identified yourself. This Aries is ego death, right? And it's like the I am, going back to what, and this is where it's like you, supernova, so you made it through all this, you're still connected to your life force. You are this I am, and it's more real than any of these stories. It was there before anything else. And you got to stand true in this energy and represent another option for humanity. And it's not easy, and they want you to feel all alone. And isn't it time to find people to play with? Isn't it time to find people that can affirm and confirm your reality with you? This more true reality. And it's like, so this Aries new moon is like break the chains. So everywhere now, what's going on is that for this Aries new moon, and we're starting to feel that later in the week, but Venus will come into a square with Pluto, and Pluto's back on the table. You know, Pluto is the breakdown destroyer in the sign of Capricorn, the laws, the rules, the way we see things, our reality, right? And Pluto's like, yeah, something else is more true. And Venus coming up with Pluto in Capricorn is the new exalted feminine coming up against all of the authority contracts where you agreed not to come into your power, not to even recognize you have your power, much less access it, much less do anything with it. And now it's time to turn that ship around and start creating a new reality with it. Live and breathe and be alive. Live and breathe and claim your sovereign truth. What we're here to do, living as an advanced soul, aware of itself in a physical form, in a body, is ecstatic existence. That's what we're here for. And to co-create and to live, right? So we're in this battle for life and death, which is the Aries energy. This is past lives where the Chiron and Aries, the wounds is like past lives where you've been targeted, not for something you did, but just for being you as the light. And this is where we're all being so frustrated right now, but also the power of it, because we all are getting frustrated with not being able to speak common sense to the people around us, right? The mind control grid and like, what is the point and why even bother getting into it with somebody, right? But this empowerment energy is like your truth, your spiritual truth, your voice, your essence, that just is. You don't have to say anything. You know, the most powerful spiritual leader is that one that does not say anything, just showing up in that truth. It's a threat, but you can handle it. Look at all you've gone through and what happens when we show up in our truth and our consciousness, our conscious awareness. So many aware souls on the planet right now. So many people know the truth, and there's all these little haystacks of lies that would enrage humanity against the machine and against the AI and against the controllers. Right now, the masses don't realize they are slaves and prisoners. But there's all these haystacks of information, you know, and years ago, I was asking, like, how do I help humanity awaken? What's up with the spiritual awakening? How do I support spiritual awakening? This is what I feel my path is. And I was shown very clearly that the awakening of the masses comes through spiritual truth, from truth, facts. And there's so many right now that have been kept from us, all these little haystacks, and what's going to set it on fire? You know, what's going to bring us all back together? It's been a long-term agenda of divide and conquer. And this Aries energy is like, yeah, I'm going to stand up in the righteous truth of the one and live. And every moment that one more soul does this, we're more free. You can bring hundreds and thousands of souls with you by claiming this right now. And the astrology is so powerful because it's like this, it's not just the stellium and Aries and Mercury conjunct Chiron. You know, it's like Venus square Pluto, Mars square Neptune, breaking the spell of the mind control. Mars and Gemini, the voice. The North Node in Gemini. Okay, so let's just talk through these personal transits that we're coming into for this next week. And Mercury Chiron, Mercury having had that retrograde in Aquarius, standing up now and into the delusions of the Piscean age. And now it's like, okay, now we get it. This is the perspective change we need. We need to get over our wounds around where we gave our power away, because guess what? We gave our power away, which means we get to take it back. We gave our reality away. Do you see? Our reality, our power, our life force, our immune system. It's all the same. It's just pure energy, which is the same as this free energy that's right around the corner. But how do we go from asleep, delusional, let me stay a prisoner masses to here's your abundant free energy? How do we do that? I guess we have to let this really nasty movie play out and be sick to our stomachs as we watch this disgusting lies upon lies upon lies, right? And again, once again, it's a slap in the face to you who's been awake and aware. And this astrology says, we're not going to take it. No, we're not going to take it. This is the rising of the tide of consciousness. It's already here. And everything that's holding together the Matrix play and the bad movie and the nightmare is just hanging by threads. And it's just like nothing can sustain it anymore. And this I am burst of Christ consciousness energy landing. I'm seeing pictures of this time that we're in, this resurrection season. There's a descending of Christ consciousness of amazing souls that can hold this energy being born, advanced souls coming into their embodiment of their true Christ consciousness, Christ itself, conscious passing of souls that are on the team. Everybody's on board with this. And it's so incredibly powerful. And so we've got to get to this point. So what's happening in this Mars square Neptune is this feeling of this weird soup of the lower matrix. And gosh, we were doing so good at staying out of it, right? And now it feels impossible. But guess what? Like when you go to that corner, nothing's working in this soup. Nothing's working for you because you're not of this. This isn't your paradigm. This isn't your reality. This isn't your matrix. It's bullshit lies. So when you get to the corner of the maze enough times, you realize you're in a maze and you've been farmed and you've been experimented on. And that's when you can get out. And when you get out of the matrix, you're inviting all of these other souls to come with you. And this is your work right now, to be present with the life force that you are, to say yes to the I am, to break the chains. So part of this Venus square Pluto energy coming up for this new moon is this, revealing of all the contracts everywhere that you've given your power away in every lifetime. Small contract, big contract. It's all on the table, because guess what? We can't keep a loyalty to any contracts right now are going to keep us in loyalty to the matrix. This is why you've been doing so much cleansing karmically, because you had to release all these lower vibrational contracts with souls that are invested in making sure you don't ever come into your awakening, right? It's like, oh, why is this so difficult? Why is this so sticky? It's almost like every single relationship you had to give your power over, and this is the Aries energy. The wounds are like, well, I can go my own way, be in my strength, be in my power. or I can have support and community and acceptance. Aries is always going to choose that lonely road, except for that on the other side of this breakthrough, your people are there and they all broke through too, and they're all waiting for you. And it's exciting, and it's an exciting time of opportunity and possibility is what's really going on. So the Aries energy is, we got to break all those contracts if we're going to stop giving our power away. Every single contract on the table. It's like any single unresolved contract represents the contract you made when you said, yes, please take my power. I can't handle it. Probably after your Atlantean lifetime. So massive turning this ship around, and all of this tension around the Mars, the warrior in Gemini, voice, communication, the silencing, take the effing mask off, and breaking the delusions, breaking the mind control, and understanding that that is a huge process, like being completely lost after you've broken, after these programs, you take away the program, the computer doesn't know what to do. That's why we got to get completely out of this whole technological agenda, and that's life force. It's everything. And the planets are telling us this. They're pushing us out of the nest. They're urging us forward. So, we're starting to feel Mars square Neptune. This weekend, we'll have Venus square Pluto, all the authority contracts. It's the goddess newly anointed on her throne as the true queen going up against the man, saying, yeah, that was a nice try, but we see the truth now. And then Mercury conjunct Chiron, which is just this huge culmination of this whole season of 2021. And Mercury also wanting to break the spell on where we've given our power away. Also saying we've got to claim freedom. We got to claim truth. We got to get our voice back if we're going to get anywhere. But there's these beautiful supportive transits happening, as well as these intense transits, pushing us into the corner, pushing us into the wall, pushing us into that precipice to make that leap, because that's what you're here to do. Supernova Soul, you're here on the cutting edge because you already had previous experiences before you came to Earth. You've already gone through spiritual ascension. You've already worked with your light body. They scared you away from it, stole it from you, and told you it wasn't yours, but it is. Now you got to claim it all back, turn the ship around, and be willing to hold the new fabric, the 5D reality, so that those that are losing their program can find that path. But I guess there's also this energy of like, that doesn't mean you need to stay there. You can't stay there. It's getting too, don't give 1 ounce of your energy to this bad movie. Everything's trying to farm you right now. Both sides of every story are trying to get your attention and steal your energy. It's like the last sacrificial lamb before the tides turn. It's almost like, well, okay, this dark control energy force is like, well, we're going to fight to the death. We've got multi-headed monsters. Maybe we're going to lose, but we will suck you dry and program as many of you into the AI agenda before we leave. And that's what's going on. It's like a last grab. That's this push for vaccinations, right? It's this last grab on humanity. And stand strong and stand true and be in that truth and hold tight to your more true spiritual reality. That's why you've gone through all you've gone through. You own it. You're doing it. You made it. And now it's time to celebrate. So really, the other things that are coming into form this weekend is Venus coming into a sextile with Jupiter. We'll start feeling that on Thursday. And this is really sweet. And then Mars will be trine to Jupiter after this, right around, we'll be feeling it a couple days before, coming up in the end of the week here too. So this is really sweet because trine to Jupiter, sextile to Jupiter, Mars and Venus. And it's like, hey, this is about expanding possibilities. Jupiter and Aquarius, it's expanding possibilities of this new Aquarian age. So there's this magical opportunity gateway happening at the same time as the intense, I'm not going to take it, coming up against the wall, no more playing, I am the I am, so just the combination. When you have those tense squares and you also have these harmonized transits, it's like, yeah, time to shed that skin. It's time to step through. What's your program that you haven't been able to get rid of? Because if you let go of that program, you don't know who you are. Doesn't matter, because who you are is your I am. Let it all freaking go. Lay it all down and be that God consciousness you came here to be. You don't have to let go of anything, really. All that is within you that really matters, your wealth, that you can't get rid of it. It gets stronger and more potent everything you go through, every lifetime. Nobody can take it from you. So powerful. And so those sweet transits with Jupiter, Venus sextile, that's like magical possibilities, and then trine harmonizing the process. And so it says that the exalted feminine in her I am, claiming back her power, and the voice, empowered voice and message and truth, that's how we get harmonized. That's how we turn the corner on this and turn the ship around. Then we have a backdrop of April, incredibly powerful, beautiful transits with Saturn in Aquarius. Again, how do we get harmonized this? How do we build in this new world? What are we doing here? Trying the North Node. And again, it's saying your voice, your message, your truth, all that's been suppressed, got to come out. Get out of the play of the lower duality. Stop fighting against yourself. It's all happening within us, right? This bad movie. So when we go and we play that game, we're going back into duality. We're going back into 3D. We're feeding the matrix. So hard right now. So maybe that's the program of supernova souls. It's like, oh, you're here to do something. You got to fix it. You got to save it. So then you got to put your attention on it, and then trap. We got all your energy again. And that's where you say, no, I'm not going to feed that. I'm going to go over here and talk to the bird. I'm going to go over here and create. I'm going to take my energy and do something with it. Powerful energy for self-expression, creative self-expression. And you recognize that what really matters to you, nobody can take that away, ever. So the whole living in fear, the lower matrix is based on fear, and the program is fear program. It can only live with fear. And you've renounced this. It's your redemption. It's time to sing these songs of freedom again. So this incredible combination of astrology, and it's going to last, into the following week after this new moon in Aries, culminating on the new moon in Aries. And so proclaim and claim your world, sing the song of freedom, which is showing up in your vibrational truth, no matter what, claiming your right to live in this exalted state of your birthright as God consciousness in a body. And don't let anybody or anything argue with you. It's almost like I'm seeing it's like the last dark tunnel of the jungle, and nothing good is there. We're looking for our treasures. We're looking for our people. We're looking for our opportunities, and nothing is happening because it's showing you that you're in the maze. And it's like a complete different level of consciousness, a complete different outside of the program, outside of the computer, outside of the reality. And that's where all of our people are. And tap into that energy, because they can support you in stepping over and breaking free. And then we find each other, and understand that it's frustration. Before we make any big change, we get uncomfortable. And that's this astrology right now. Mars square Neptune, break the spell and the delusions. I've been sick to my stomach for long enough, knowing the truth and seeing everybody just wallow around in that mud like they like it. We need the whole truth. And it's about to bust out at the seams and bring it, And so this I am energy is how we break out and we speak our truth and we stand up in our truth, and we break the mind control, and we say, it's okay. Give me the ego death. Give me the free fall. I want what's essential. I want back you. You want the part of you that you gave up in order to play the game here. this bigger spiritual truth, this Christ consciousness, this advanced knowledge that you have. It's been waiting in the wings. That's what you want. The stories, the ego, the insecurities, all of our issues coming up, that's not who you are. It's all those old contracts, it's all those old movies. And yes, you played that game, but it's not who you are. And so we got to let it all go, cleanse and clear and be present in this incredible moment of time here together, and know that you're not alone. We're all right there. We're all breaking through. We're cracking that code, opening up the veil so that souls can step through. And maybe that's where we're growing impatient, is like holding open, and it's like, open every day. You got to open up that slit again of the truth against the lies and programming and bullshit and lack of common sense, and it's exhausting. And maybe this astrology is saying, hey, maybe it's your turn. Instead of sitting here holding the door open, putting so much effort into it, how about you just slip through? You're holding the door open and they're going, that's not true. That's bullshit. You're crazy. What's your deal? Why can't you just fit in and be like us? And it's like, I'm holding it open. I'm holding it open. I was like, maybe it's just only for you to step through. This is Aries. It's like, it's about me, my way or the highway. Let's just step the F through and leave this sinking ship to whatever it needs to do. No more energy going towards the bad program. So hang in there. You're so incredibly important and crucial. And this astrology is so powerful leading into this new moon. I hope you'll consider joining me for new moon activation. That's going to be this weekend. And as we move into this energy, let's just be present with that empowerment of the truth of who we really are. And it's time for that to return. And the songs, all that's been hidden, all the hidden agendas, and all the spiritual mysteries that have been degraded. The feminine, Sun Venus is this cleansing of the feminine, right, to her exalted place. And it's like, did we buy into this false moon thing, asteroid that we have going on? Like, is that just to control women, to create an archetype that says the feminine is dark so that she can be cast aside and the divide and conquer agenda can take hold? Because the feminine and the masculine are both light. And it's about a perfect balance of the two, that alchemy. And that's what breaks us out of the matrix. So no wonder, you keep humanity from their power by degrading the feminine, because the feminine represents the female body. We all are masculine and feminine. We've all had lifetimes in male and female bodies. But the female body has more direct access to this precious life force because they have the ability to make a baby. We're programmed to think that that's all we can use that energy for, but it's not. We're co-creators. And so what would be a great way to keep humanity from their precious life force? And that would be to degrade the feminine. Pick her up, get her out of there, get her out of the gutter, dust her off, put her on her rightful throne, and let's get on with this business of moving into this new age of truth, of balance, harmony. Let this astrology work for you. It is so dynamic and so beautiful, and you have nowhere else to go. This is a fight for the life force. It's a fight to the death for the life force, And let's do it. Let's step on through. We don't really have time, exist out of time. When you're in that moment of creative expression, or you're with nature, or you're in your meditation, you're in that connection, there is no time there. And so we got to spend as much time as we can outside of time, because we know that the time matrix is part of the matrix, keeping us trapped in the maze. So there's only one way out, and that's within and with each other, and full permission, like this Aries energy wants us to do, is to sing that song of freedom, step up, break the chains, drop all contracts, and step through to the exalted God consciousness that you are, and I am, and we all are here to celebrate together. And so much better than that sinking ship. Bring your attention back there again and again. That's your job. It feels alone, but it's only because you got to make that breakthrough alone. And then your people are right there on the other side. We're all waiting for this exciting next chapter because we made it and nobody can steal it from us this time. We already won. So live and breathe in that God consciousness. When you breathe with nature and with this life force, you're affirming the organic matrix, the natural world. Affirming the natural world is affirming your life force, your power, your immune system, and breaking the code on the lower matrix and bad movie. So thank you so much for being here, making it through, all of you that you've made it through, to be here on the cutting edge, to represent a living, breathing example of the I am power within us, and a net that can catch humanity as they lose their bad program. But you don't have to do it from here. Let's go. Let's go to 5D. Let's be there. Let's give ourselves full permission, find each other, and get to work on these amazing projects together. So let's do this. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy this energy. Make it work for you. And I look forward to seeing you soon on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.